Masturbation is one of the best things you can do for your sex life. But what if I told you that 3 silent mistakes are secretly weakening your sexual reflexes? Think about that. These seemingly harmless habits might be programming you for failure. Stick around, because we're about to rewire your entire sexual response system. Let's make one thing clear from the beginning. Masturbation is normal, it's healthy, and it's beneficial. It doesn't replace partnered sex, but it can support it. It helps you relax. It helps you sleep. And it can even keep your prostate healthier. But here's the most important part. And what you're about to learn, masturbation is a form of training. That's right. Every time you do it, and you're training your brain and body how to respond to sex. Your brain is a powerful learning machine. It constantly records and reinforces what you repeat. This is called neuroplasticity. Your brain changes based on the patterns you create. So when you masturbate, you're literally teaching your body what turns you on, when to climax, and how long pleasure is supposed to last. Think of it like going to the gym. If you train with proper form, you build strength. If you train with bad form, you develop injuries. Same goes for masturbation. Done right, you build control. You build confidence. You build stamina. But done wrong, you're programming yourself for premature ejaculation, lack of control, and sexual dysfunction today. We're going to break down the 3 biggest mistakes and, more importantly, how to fix each one with clear, practical steps. Let's get into it. The first mistake, and also the most common, we call it the 100-yard dash. This is when you masturbate with one goal in mind: to finish as quickly as possible. Maybe you're worried someone will walk in, or maybe it's just become a habit. Either way, you're training yourself for speed, and that is a disaster for your sex life. When you repeatedly ejaculate in just minutes, or even seconds, you're teaching your brain that pleasure is supposed to be fast. Your brain doesn't judge, it simply learns. You're training your sexual reflexes to finish early. Now imagine this. You're with your partner. You want to last. You want control. But your body remembers the habit. It says, finish now. You lose control. You climax too soon. And then you feel embarrassed. It doesn't stop there. You start to worry. What if it happens again? You develop what's called performance anxiety, a mental loop that sabotages your arousal. And here's the truth. Anxiety is one of the biggest psychological killers of an erection. So let's be clear. Masturbating too fast leads to premature ejaculation. That leads to anxiety. That anxiety causes erectile dysfunction. And you repeat the same fast habit to cope. It becomes a vicious cycle. The fix, it sounds simple, but it requires discipline. You have to slow down. You have to turn that 100-yard dash into a marathon. Set aside private time. Turn off your phone. Lock the door. Remove the pressure. This time, the goal isn't to finish. The goal is to feel, learn how to surf the wave of your own arousal. Get close to the edge. That moment right before orgasm, then pause. Breathe. Let the intensity fade. Then build it back up. Each time you do that, you're retraining your brain and body. You're proving to yourself, I'm in control, not my reflexes. And that's how you reclaim your sexual power. With patience, with practice, with control. The second major mistake doesn't come from your body. It comes from your screen. Let's make it simple. You're masturbating with porn, and you're doing it way too often. Every day, every night, same loop. Click, watch, stimulate, finish. Porn is like junk food for your sexual brain. It's hyper-stimulating, it's easy to access, and it gives you instant gratification. But just like junk food, it has zero nutritional value, and it causes serious long-term problems. Your brain runs on dopamine, the chemical that drives pleasure and motivation every time you watch a new scene, a new body, a new fantasy. Your dopamine levels spike. But here's the problem. You get used to the spike. Your brain begins to crave more intensity, more novelty, more extremes, just to feel the same excitement. And then what happens? You're with your real life partner, someone you love, someone you're attracted to, but there's no camera, no filters, no scripted perfection, just real life. And suddenly, it feels like nothing. You can't get aroused. You can't stay hard. You feel disconnected. Why? Because your brain has been conditioned to expect porn-level stimulation, not real human connection. This is a very real condition. It's called PIED, porn-induced erectile dysfunction. And it's more common than you think. You're comparing a home-cooked meal to a bucket of fried chicken and a gallon of soda. Junk food gives you a cheap, easy high, but real food is what nourishes you. The fix? It's not on your screen. It's in your mind. The most powerful sexual organ you have is your brain. You have to stop outsourcing arousal to a screen and start using your imagination again. Think about past experiences. Create new fantasies in your head. Focus on the physical sensations in your body. At first, it'll feel difficult. Your brain will beg for the junk food. But if you stick with it, you'll rewire yourself to get aroused naturally. Need a stepping stone. Try erotic stories. Try audio-based content. Podcasts. Sensual writing. They engage your imagination without the damaging effects of visual overstimulation. This is how you take your mind back and rebuild the bond between your thoughts and your body. Mistake number 3. It's not about speed. It's not about porn. It's about repetition. You masturbate the exact same way every time. Same hand, same grip, same pressure, same speed. Usually in the same position, like lying face down on your bed. It works. It gets you off. But over time, it conditions your body to expect only that. Your penis adapts. The nerve endings start to recognize only one pattern, a very intense, very specific kind of stimulation. The pressure from your hand, combined with the friction of the mattress, is way more intense than anything you'll ever feel during real sex. So here's what happens. Your body gets used to a level 10 out of 10, then you're with a partner. You're in the moment. And suddenly, it feels like an 8 or a 7. Your brain notices the difference. It says, this isn't right. This isn't enough. And just like that, you can't get hard, or you lose your erection halfway through. You've trained your body to respond only to one thing, and now everything else feels inadequate. This is known as death grip syndrome, and it's a very real, very common problem. You didn't mean to cause it, but your body has been overtrained to respond to one exact set of sensations and nothing else. The fix: become an explorer. Stop being predictable. Your goal is to teach your body to respond to a variety of touches, not just one. Switch hands. If you always use your right hand, use your left. Use lubricant. Change the texture. Reduce the pressure. Try different positions. Sit. Stand. Lie on your back instead of your stomach. Change the routine. Each variation sends a new signal to your brain. It builds flexibility. It restores sensitivity. It breaks the dependence on one narrow stimulus. The goal is simple: make your body responsive to different types of stimulation. That way, when you're with a real partner, you're not shocked. You're ready because you've trained yourself to feel pleasure in a natural, healthy way. If you've made it this far, you're serious about your sexual health, and that deserves real respect. Let's quickly go over your new training plan. First, practice patience. Slow down. Stop rushing to finish. Control your arousal like a wave. Don't crash. Learn to ride it. Second, use your imagination. Stop feeding your brain porn. Start using mental stimulation. Reconnect your mind with your body. Third, embrace variety. Change up your routine. New positions, new grip, new sensations. So your body becomes adaptable and responsive. If you make these changes, you'll avoid the most common problems men face. And more than that, you'll become a more confident, present, and capable lover. One final trick. And it's important: a lot of men feel anxiety or reduced sensation when using a condom. Why? Because they're not used to it. It's like putting on brand new shoes and trying to run a race without breaking them in first. So here's what you do. Use your solo time to get comfortable with condoms. Practice during masturbation. Try different brands, different sizes, thin, textured, lubricated. Find what feels right for you. When you make condoms part of your routine, you remove the fear and friction from real sex. It becomes familiar. It becomes easy, and it becomes part of your rhythm, not something that ruins the moment. Masturbation is not your enemy. It's your private training ground. Use it wisely, and you'll not only avoid these mistakes, you'll unlock more control, confidence, and pleasure than you thought possible. If this advice helped you, tap the like button. It helps the channel reach more people who need to hear this. And now it's your turn. Which of these three mistakes felt the most familiar? Be honest. There's no judgment here, just awareness and the desire to improve. Drop your comment below. We're listening.